Alex, and this is Travel TitBits 34, and I'm back at Barnstaple, where we're first going to look at the influence of the railways on this side of the town. So let's take a look. So we're looking at the Strand here, and we will take a walk over there shortly. In the distance we've got the new Tor crossing, and we're looking at the old Tor Bridge, and specifically I want to tell you about firstly the Tor Railway Bridge that crossed here, or was built here in 1874 as part of the extension to Ilfracombe, and there is just one small part we can look at, which is just visible from this side of the river. Which is basically the only thing that's left is this small grass area on top of a small abutment, which is where the Southern Railway trains used to come over and cross the river at a rather sharp angle and rejoined this embankment just over here, where the fence line just turns in a section. That is where the line rejoined the Strand on this side. But what happened in 1874 is that a short-lived station was built on this curve, which presumably went into that small abutment, and it was called Barnstaple Quay. This was later rectified because with the growth of train travel, a much larger station was needed here. So let's take a closer look at what happened next. So basically the Strand was also used as a bus station. In the old days the Strand would have been wider than this, and the first old photograph shows really old vehicles and omnibuses as they were first known, and then much later on when the much newer station arrived, so was the bus station. And it would have been along here. The fine building in front of us is the Custom House. So everything used to happen here at one time. Another lovely but crisp day. river's quite still again. And the second river crossing, quite busy today. We're leading up to Christmas. So as we gradually pan over here, we will now see, squeezed in between flats, what was a level crossing here. You see the road is slightly raised here. Two pairs of lines will cross here, and this was the signal box which was perched on the end of Barnstaple Town railway station. It's had a few different lives. The signal box was temporarily a small museum, and I don't know if the station building is still for young people, but let's go and have a look at the front of the building. So in 1886 it was decided that there needed to be a bigger station. And this is what they came up with, this lovely Southern Railway building, 1886, and it was partially funded by the railway and the Lynton and Barnstaple Railway, who wanted to come here eventually. So the cost of this station cost £8,000, of which £2,000 was contributed to by the Lynton and Barnstaple. And the £8,000 is equivalent to around £711,000 in today's money. So not an inconsiderable amount of money. And if we just go behind the flats, so it was a single platform station with, I think, a passing loop, and the area in which this car park, and obviously minus the flats, was not only the single platform, but by 1898 it was also the second platform for the extended Lynton and Barnstaple Railway, which I think was finally completed in 1898. So it's very difficult to imagine this being a railway junction between two a standard gauge and a narrow gauge railway, but that's what happened here. Sadly, the Lynton Barnstaple Railway shut in 1935, and the Ilfracombe Railway shut to passengers in 1970, and the bridge crossing lasted another 5 years, and that went in 1975. So we're going to walk a bit more, and we'll join you when we get to the next point of interest. A quick insert. I don't know where I will use this, but this was a police building. They have a base somewhere else in town now. Well, you'd hope so, given that this is now being taken apart. But yeah, I think deconstructing can be as interesting as constructing. Wow. I wonder what's going to go on inside of here. So you join me adjacent to the river Yeo, which flows into the Tor, just behind where the demolition works are taking place. And on the other side of the road is the Barnstaple Castle Mound, which, if any evidence is needed of the significance of this area, the strategic importance of this area, a castle mound is a good piece of evidence. So I'm standing here because this was part of the approach line where we're standing of the Lynton Barnstaple railway. So behind me it came from the wharf and the connection with the town station, and the line hugged the edge of the Neo River. And if we zoom in a bit, we can see some older buildings and another river crossing in between this building we're going to take a closer look at shortly, and that road crossing. There was a very interesting crossing for the Lynton Barnstaple Railway. So let's take a closer look. So we're looking back at the river Yeo and what's known as the Brunswick Wharf, which dates back a very long time. So next to the left hand side of the wharf building was where the Lynton Barnstaple Railway hugged, and then right on this corner was a level crossing, a not unusual sight for the time, but what made this slightly unique was that there was a pedestrian bridge. So it kind of suggested that there were times when the crossing was closed for some time, long enough for someone to walk over a dinky bridge crossing a single narrow gauge railway line. There are pictures to be found of this, and it would have continued along this bankside, and roughly, and I'm only saying roughly with the curvature of the wall of the river, the railway then swung right and crossed over this what's now a road, or it may even have gone a little bit further. I'm not 100% sure where it crossed, but it then crossed into what's now a large car park, and there was the yards, the main yards for the Lynton Barnstaple Railway. So we will go and have a closer look. So it may well have been, I think the clue is in the colour of the bricks. You can just about make out that there used to be some advertising, and the wall on the right is also old. So roughly here was where the railway must have crossed, and behind these old buildings were the yards known as the Pilton Yards. So we're now on the other side of the road in the car park, where the narrow gauge railway would have come in here, and this car park was where the yards of the Lynton Barnstaple Railway were based. Now the Lynton Barnstaple Railway today is a preservation railway, and they're going through a lot of fundraising. They've already built a little railway, and there's plans to extend it. Eventually they'd like to return to Barnstaple. I'm not sure how near to Barnstaple is possible, whether they can actually get near to here. Obviously that would be a tremendous advantage if they were. So yeah, I think there is determination in preservation, as they say. Maybe one day people will again be taking a narrow gauge railway from Barnstaple to Lynton. I'm in Pilton Park, which is just across the road from where the old Lynton Barnstaple yards used to be, and this is the River Yeo making its way to the Tor River. So that was a walk from the Tor Bridge and along the shores of the Yeo to where the Lynton and Barnstaple railway works used to be. So I hope you found that interesting. We'll see you again next time.